Hello everyone and welcome back to this channel. So on the previous video I've done modification for the shock, which I changed to oil shock. So on this video I'll be changing the diffs to metal for the front and rear. And after changing the front and rear diff, I'll be upgrading the motor from 380 size to 390 size from MN86KS. So this shaft has diameter of 2.3mm, which is plug and play from the stock pinion. So before we proceed to change the metal diff, I prepare my own grease or the lube for the differential. So I start to unbolt 4 bolts or 4 screws for the front, because I started with the front first. After unscrewing 4 bolts or 4 screws, you would need to pop out the shocks to gain the access to the front diff. So here is the stock diff. In comparison with the metal one, it still has the same dimension, but it's just that it is stronger but heavier.
It's you and only you.
Inside this metal diff, there are planetary gears made from metal as well. Don't forget to put some grease in the diff so that it is smoother.
I can feel I'm changing. I don't know if I'll ever go back. All the ways that you make me, build me up on the things I lack. I don't ever wanna lose you now. 'Cause I think I'll make it here now. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you.
You might also want to lube the bearing with some bearing oil if you have any.
It's you and only.
After installing the diff case, you will need to align all the steering components correctly.
you and only you.
Next is the installation for the rear diff, which is also the same procedure as the front diff, which you will need to pop off the shocks and unscrew 4 screws from the diff case.
I don't know if I'll ever go back. All the ways that you make me, build me up on the things I lack. I don't ever wanna lose you now. 'Cause I think I'll make it here now.
Now you would need to open the rear diffuser or the rear bumper to gain the access to open up the rear diff.
I don't know where the time goes, it just flies when I hold you close. In my arms with your eyes closed, for the first time I've got hope. I don't ever wanna lose you now. I don't think I'll make it here without. I don't ever wanna lose you now. I don't think I'll make it here without. 'Cause it's you and only.
In my opinion, the rear diff upgrading is a little bit time consuming because the dog bones for the rear shaft, the drive shaft at the rear, it's keep popping off. So my advice is patience is the key. So you will need to be patient to install the rear diff as the dog bones keep on popping off,
Because it's you and
as you can see on this video. But after the struggle, I know it's very rewarding, as you will see the performance or the durability of this RC will be significantly increased.
all the ways that you make me, build me up on the things I lack. I don't ever wanna lose you now. 'Cause I don't think I'll make it here without. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you.
So the whole process of upgrading the front and rear diff took me around 30 minutes to complete. So after this part, you will be watching on how I'll be upgrading my motor from 380 to 390 20-ton brush motor.
I don't know where the time goes, it just flies when I hold you close. In my arms with your eyes closed.
Right here I have my brush motor 20-ton 390 from my MN86KS, which I did use, and it has 2.3mm shaft, which is plug and play, the same size pinion from the stock motor. So I'm sure this will be an easy upgrade if you search for speed and increase of speed. So first you will need to unscrew. There are 5 screws on the top and 2 screws on the bottom, which holding the motor mount. And after you get the motor, you need to unplug the JST connection from the ESC to the motor and use hex 1.5 to open the grub screw. Just be careful not to overturn. If you would need some heat, yes, you can apply some, but for me, I just simply use the hex and it opened easily. And after you open the 2 screws holding the motor to the motor mount, you can start to install the new motor 390 from MN86KS and install the grub screw for the pinion 2.3mm, and you can put it back as it is in the reverse order.